In the calm twilight of Europe, the year is 1890. The streets of Vienna are filled with laughter. Markets bustle in Berlin, and the cafes of Paris overflow with poets and dreamers. Ordinary people, men in hats, women in long dresses, go about their lives unaware that a storm is slowly gathering beyond the horizon. They speak of progress, of the wonders of the new century, of peace that will last forever. But behind the walls of palaces and parliaments, the clock of destiny begins to tick. In London, the British Empire rules over 1/4 of the world. In Berlin, Kaiser Wilhelm II dreams of glory, of a navy that can challenge Britain itself. In Paris, the wounds of the Franco-Prussian War still burn quietly in the hearts of the French. And in St. Petersburg, the Tsar fears the winds of revolution sweeping through his empire. Each nation, proud and ambitious, watches the other, like tigers circling in the same jungle. Meanwhile, ordinary families in the countryside plant wheat and raise children, never imagining that their sons will soon wear uniforms and march toward death. By the late 1890s, Europe has become a chessboard. Two great alliance systems rise from the ashes of mistrust. On one side, the Triple Alliance: Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy, bound together by fear and ambition. On the other, the Triple Entente: France, Russia, and Great Britain, an agreement not of friendship, but of necessity. The kings and emperors toast with champagne, calling it peace through strength. But the truth? They have built a powder keg, and every handshake hides a spark. In the factories of Birmingham and Essen, machines roar day and night. New cannons, dreadnoughts, and rifles roll off assembly lines, more powerful than ever before. The newspapers call it progress. The soldiers call it preparation. But mothers whisper prayers, sensing that something terrible is coming. By the 1905, the arms race has become unstoppable. Young boys play with toy soldiers, dreaming of heroism. Their fathers, who once fought in small wars, know better. They know what iron and fire can do. Then came the spark that began to light the fuse. In the Balkan Peninsula, the powder keg of Europe, empires collide. The Ottoman Empire crumbles. New nations rise. Serbia dreams of uniting all Slavs under one flag. But Austria-Hungary sees this dream as a threat, a dagger pointed at its heart. The streets of Sarajevo simmer with tension. And yet far away, in grand ballrooms and smoky meeting rooms, the powerful men of Europe smile for photographs, pretending all is well. June 28, 1914. A quiet Sunday morning in Sarajevo. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, rides through the city in an open car with his wife, Sophie. They wave to the crowd, unaware of fate, hiding in the shadows. Then a sudden sound, a gunshot, another. Sophie falls first. The Archduke whispers her name as his white uniform turns red. The assassin, Gavrilo Princip, a young man barely 20, is seized. But it is too late. History has been written with bullets. Across Europe, newspapers scream with headlines. In Vienna, outrage. In Berlin, opportunity. In Russia, anger. And in London, silence. The calm before the storm. Ordinary people read the news with disbelief. They ask, how could one man's death matter so much? But in the corridors of power, telegrams begin to fly. Threats turn to ultimatums. Ultimatums turn to mobilization orders. The dominoes begin to fall. Within weeks, Europe becomes a machine of war. Austria-Hungary declares war on Serbia. Russia moves to protect Serbia. Germany mobilizes to defend Austria-Hungary, and France joins to defend Russia. And when Germany marches through neutral Belgium, Britain enters the war. The world once filled with peace and progress now burns in a sea of fire. In the villages, mothers weep as sons march away. In the cities, bells ring and flags wave. People cheer. They believe it will be over by Christmas. No one knows they are stepping into a nightmare that will last 4 long years. Letters from the front begin to arrive. Muddy, blood-stained, trembling. A young soldier writes to his mother, "Don't worry, Ma. We'll be home soon. The officers say it'll be quick." But even as he writes, the world changes forever. Trenches stretch across Europe like open scars. Men live in mud, rats, and fear. Empires crumble, and millions will never return home. The war has begun, not because the people wanted it, but because pride, ambition, and fear ruled the hearts of those in power. The road to war was not paved in hatred, but in arrogance and in silence. The silence of those who saw it coming and said nothing. And so, as the first shots of the Great War echo across the fields of Europe, the world steps into darkness, but also into a lesson that will echo through history. That peace is not the absence of conflict, but the courage to prevent it. This was Chapter 2, The Road to War, 1890-1914. In the next episode, we enter the trenches to witness how soldiers, kings, and ordinary people faced the unimaginable. If you felt the story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so history never fades into silence.